Would like the opportunity to share my disgust at these accusations. Brother, you're the accusation. I want to share the disgust. You're not going to hold the hands of the victims, bro. You're the perpetrator. I'm a firm believer in the rights and equality of all humans, including women. We're including women, okay? I know. It's controversial. All right, so basically I wanted to talk about Bentellect because I get compared to him a lot. I don't know how in 2025 I'm still getting compared to Bentellect, just based on appearance. That is pretty crazy. I don't see the resemblance. When I face revealed, people were saying I looked like Dream and Bentellect. Those were the most common comparisons. But Bentellect, if you don't even know who that is, you probably don't understand who that is. But he is a person Moist Critical made a video on and basically ended his career. But before that, he was a guy who would read tweets and basically pretend to laugh at them for content on TikTok, and he was a cringe factory. But I saw this video and it was worth getting into, mostly because I still get compared to him to this day, but also because it's been so long since his name has carried any weight. He tried to expose Penguin Z0 and it ended his life. Wait, whoa, it ruined his life, not ended his life. He's still alive. It ruined his life.
Or does slandering the creator who exposed you for being a manipulative creep ever turn out well? From Bentellect's perspective, calling Charlie, aka Moist Critical, a liar and a creep was the quickest way to repair his reputation.
I would argue that Charlie reading strangers' private text messages makes him and his followers more of a creep than me texting a girl. But there's an idiot born.
No. So basically this video, Charlie reads your creepy texts for 2 hours. Okay, I don't think him going on Reddit where people are posting screenshots of texts they've had with people is something where he's now creepy, right? Like oftentimes, not only is the phone number blurred, but the actual name of the person is blurred as well. So he's not even doing anything invasive. And even if you want to argue that he is, then you have to argue that the person who put it out on Reddit is the problem, right? And oftentimes he's not even doing anything creepy. He's just like clowning on it. It's very basic surface level content. And even like, okay, the argument is like, well, because he's doing it, I'm fine. First of all, 2 wrongs don't make a right. And if you're going to say that this is creepy, then bro, what you did was even creepier, right? He basically was going to do a podcast with a girl from what I remember. And if this is wrong, then please correct me. But he canceled the podcast because he wanted to argue that him doing the podcast should allow him to be able to fuck the girl who he wanted to have on the podcast for OnlyFans content, which is crazy. And then they would say no, and he would get mad and harass them. Yeah, you know, he said some weird shit.
Followers more of a creep than me texting a girl. But there's an idiot born every second, and a lot of them are following Moist Critical.
Sadly, Ben was just digging himself into a bigger hole as his petty, vengeful, and litigious past was about to destroy his reputation a second time. Hi, I'm the Internet Anarchist. I create weekly YouTube documentaries, and today we'll discuss the dubious return of YouTube's least favorite TikToker, Bentellect.
It is dubious.
To turn the internet against him the first time, why he thought slandering Charlie was a good way to make a comeback, and how it will only make things worse for him in the long run. We've covered Ben one.
Well, you're talking about the long run as if that's something that you can even discuss when referring to someone who was a blip. Like you're literally a blip, bro. Like you're a TikToker. I don't know. Look, I'm not gonna sound like a boomer here and say that like, oh, you know, the longevity of a TikTok career is only like a year or 2. At the same time, in this guy's case, it is. So, you know, talking about this will hurt him in the long term, bro. There is no long term for this guy, like on TikTok. You know, he's probably rich, so he's fine. But I mean, let's just keep it honest, you know.
Once before on the channel, but here's a brief summary of the controversy surrounding his career and his encounter with Charlie. Over the years, Ben has built up a vast social media following across YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram by reacting to other—
Damn, he really had 11 million followers? That's crazy. Dude, I knew that he had some followers on here because his content was viral, but 11 fucking mil? Damn, bro, Facebook moms really infiltrated this platform because ain't no way actual humans were watching this.
Other people's memes. While he received—
And yes, I am saying Facebook moms are not humans, bro. They watch Ellen. They'll watch anything.
Criticism for making low-effort content and copyright striking other people's videos about him, Ben was still well-liked by his fans. Unfortunately, that all changed in July of 2023, when the creator Jordan Max shared a series of damning messages that revealed how Ben was leveraging his platform to try and and hook up with OF models. According to Jordan and the screenshots provided, they had a podcast collaboration planned, but Ben decided to call it off mere hours before shooting because she refused to film OF content with him.
Hold on a second. Wait. So I'm trying to even understand what kind of business does this guy have even doing a podcast, right? Because you're the tweet reader. So what are you gonna do on a podcast? Are you just gonna like do a group tweet reading session? Is this what you're doing now? Like, I mean, maybe that could be some kind of content, but like, bro, it's 2 hours of reading tweets, or no? Like, it's like the male only JS kind of, but at least only JS was actually doing like, how do I even say this? It's not that she was doing content and he wasn't, because they're both doing nothing. You know, you're better off watching paint dry, but bro, like, oh man, he was a narrator, bro. Like, Siri is going for your job first. OpenAI is going for your job first.
Mere hours before shooting because she refused to film OF content with him. With texts reading, "I was just thinking you're helping me with doing a video for my YouTube, so maybe I could help you with your OF. Hey, gonna do the pickle video with someone."
Bro said, maybe I could help you. All right, bro. I mean, I know you're just trying to slide it in, but you are not slick at all. Talking about, I'm a helping hand, you know? I know that you're in need, and I'm just here to provide a service for you. I just want to help you. I just want to help you. I just want to help you. Ben, you're not fooling anybody. You're not fooling anybody. I just want to do you a favor. I just want to do you a favor. The fuck are you talking about, bro? Talking about I want to help you? Like, you're not slick at all. Nobody's fooled by this. You're such a nice guy. You're such a nice guy. I'm just looking out for you. I'm just looking out for you. You're a fucking freak, bro.
Someone else. Thanks though. Within days.
Talking about, bro, he got the I'm good thanks and was like, yeah, I'm gonna switch it up. Huh. He was like, I got a new candidate for this role. I've been looking on Indeed, and we found a new person we're going to try the script on.
Several other women came out with similar stories of Ben turning aggressive and petty when—
Can I be that heir? Let's time that out.
They rejected him. In a bid to mitigate the damage to his reputation, Ben threatened to sue Jordan.
I mean, bro, like, here's the thing, right?
Several other women came out with similar stories of Ben turning aggressive and petty when they rejected him.
Okay, so that's something where, honestly, if you've been rejected by multiple women because you got like a little formula that you're going to use to try to get some, it's like, all right, you know, you're a bit of a troublemaker. You're a bit of a, you know, you thinking with your second head, not your first. That's something that maybe it's, we can sympathize with that. You know, you're down bad. You got to formulate a scheme to get some. Okay. But now it's like, you're going to sue them. The crime was that you're down bad. Now the crime is that you're fucking like, you're like a serial formulaic sort of goblin.
In a bid to mitigate the damage to his reputation, Ben threatened to sue Jordan for simply publishing the screenshots. However, his desperation to hide the situation only made the claims against him even more credible.
I've recently been accused of some hilarious... Oh, heinous. I bet I saw that said hilarious. I'm like, there's no fucking way. And I read hilarious, and I looked at his image. I'm like, he even finds this shit funny to this day. Sorry, I've been accused of some heinous accusations and would like the opportunity to share my disgust at these accusations. Brother, you're the accusation. I want to share the disgust. You're not going to hold the hands of the victims, bro. You're the perpetrator. I would like to give the opportunity to share my disgust, and I'm a firm believer in the rights and equality of all humans, including women. What? Why is this written so fucking strangely? Guys, don't worry. We're including women, okay? I know it's controversial to say that women should have rights, but don't worry, I'm very progressive. I think that even women should have rights. Dude said including women. Including women. All right. I mean, sure. I mean, why not? Yeah, I mean, women would fall under the umbrella of humans, so go for it. I grew up in a home with 3 sisters. Bro, no, stop. This is some I have a black friend tier argument. I have a woman friend. I know a lot about rights. I grew up in a home with 3 sisters and no brothers. So I learned very early on the importance, power, love, and abilities women have. They deserve to be cherished and uplifted and treated with respect. That's how I live my life. I have female friends, guys, I swear. Dude, what a nice guy. This guy's amazing, dude. This guy's so great. They might be people. Thank God, dude. Bentellect. Dude, Bentellect, I'm not sure, bro. I'm not really convinced. Something about the including women before you started justifying it was sort of strange, dude. I don't know. Dude, I think this guy's secretly a supervillain. He's talking about your body, my choice secretly, and no one knows. I do not condone the statements or accusations that have been suddenly hoisted upon me. I hope to speak to anyone who feels they've been wronged.
When viewers confronted Ben with evidence, he didn't deny it and tried to downplay the controversy by saying, quote, "People are upset over PG text messages." To see
I low-key don't believe Acheeto has female friends, LMAO. Well, yeah, you're right. Like, I don't, but he's talking about, like, I do. I know so many women. My mom's a woman. My sisters are also women, and then I love women. It's like, okay, but bro, like, you're the most devious little goblin that you can even, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're a fucking textbook supervillain here. At least with me, it's like, yeah, I'm just like, I'm a doofus, right? So it's like my life is in front of a computer screen, you know, but I'm just kind of like a bum. I just kind of play video games and I watch Mr. Robot and I play Overwatch and make YouTube videos, right? So I'm sort of just like this sort of isolated Nightcrawler type figure. But then it's like, this guy is trying to be a devious little person, and I think that's the problem.
When viewers confronted Ben with evidence, he didn't deny it and tried to downplay the controversy by saying, quote, "People are upset over PG text messages." To see such a popular creator take advantage of that popularity to manipulate—
Bro, what? You're PG? Oh, so you were just gonna play Scrabble on OnlyFans? Gotcha.
People into sleeping with him naturally revolted his audience. Once the backlash became too severe to ignore, Ben released this half-hearted apology to hopefully save his reputation.
Just wanted to clear the air. The first thing I want to say is I'm sorry to anyone that I've made feel uncomfortable. I want to say to any girl who I've been rude to, whether through text or in person, that I'm sorry. I understand that me being sorry does not excuse that kind of behavior. I will continue to work.
Bro, he don't give a fuck. He doesn't give a shit. The way I can tell, man, he did not do a good job.
Work on myself and do better.
And everyone clapped. Look at this half smile. And do better. Bro, the moment he reached to turn that camera off, he was like, and do better. Oh, man. All right. Let's go back to bribing women for sex.
Thanks, guys.
To anyone watching, Ben wasn't making this apology because he felt sorry, but because he wanted to maintain his career. When that didn't work, Ben deleted all traces of the apology from his social—
Bro, why'd you put him on a casting couch?
in his career.
He wasn't even there, was he? Oh, he was. So he did that for himself? Is this the couch he was going to use for OF? He's like, once we're done with the video or the podcast, come on this lovely couch I've got.
He wasn't making this apology because he felt sorry, but because he wanted to maintain his career. When that didn't work, Ben deleted all traces of the apology from his social media. Unfortunately, that didn't stop the news of his misconduct from spreading like wildfire across the internet, as creators like Penguin Zero wasted no time in roasting him for such dubious behavior.
Dubious.
So, did he stand by every single word that he said? Let's look at his initial apology, which he deleted pretty shortly after posting it, and then also hid replies on. Let's look at his first apology. I've recently been accused of some heinous actions and would like the opportunity to share my disgust at these accusations. I'm a firm believer in the rights and equality of all humans, including women. If that's not the biggest red flag immediately, I don't know what else is. I stand by the rights for all humans, and that does include women. Those creatures. I am including them in that statement because that's the kind of angel I am. It makes it sound like he's drawing a distinction between women and every other human on the planet, like they're a totally separate species.
Yeah.
Knowing Ben's litigious tendencies, Charlie clarified that any attempt to sue him or copyright strike the video would be met with an immediate—
That's like, I love all races, even the bad ones.
and swift legal response.
Also, Ben, I know you're still watching. You probably plan on suing me if I show your apology video because you've employed this tactic before against other YouTubers. If they've shown clips of your content to make fun of you, you allege that it's stealing your work and you have a legal ground to take it down and come after them. You don't. That's not how that
That's true,
works.
yes.
Me showing this is not any kind of violation in any way, shape, or form. So if you do try and sue me or copyright claim this video, copyright strike the video, anything like that, I will 100% respond with every single option at my disposal in order to follow this legal case through to its fullest conclusion.
From the end of 2023 until mid-2000.
I don't think you want to lawyer up against this guy. I think he's got bans and bans and bans to get you gone. If you try to lawyer up against Penguin Z0, you better have some ammo.
To its fullest.
That's just that sounded so fucking gay, bro. I gotta stop glazing. I mean, it's true though. It's like I can't.
Conclusion.
From the end of 2023 until mid-2024, the controversy Ben desperately wanted to hide almost completely became public knowledge. As a result of his own dishonesty, Ben had lost the goodwill of his fan base, which completely
Valid
wrecked all of
glaze.
his social media growth. If Ben had only taken accountability for what he did and made a proper apology, he could have avoided this outcome. Unfortunately, Ben isn't the type of person to acknowledge his mistakes. Instead, he tries to twist the narrative after the dust has settled. On the 8th of September 2024, Ben would upload a video titled "Commentary Channels Love to Lie," in which he tried to minimize his horrible
dude.
behavior by making the people reporting it look like clout chasers. Starting with the false copyright strike he made against Nick is Not Green, Ben tried to justify it by claiming he didn't know the difference between claiming and striking someone.
Oh yeah. No, that's not true at all, because it literally tells you that you can claim something and take all the money from the creator whose video it is, but the video stays up, versus a strike, which means the video is taken off the internet. And you only do the strike if you are like taking down like pirated content. Like if it's a full-length movie, you strike it, you don't claim it. But if it's something where usually if you use a song that's copyrighted, they'll just claim it, right? And then you just take out the video. Hashtag Team Ben. Why? Just because it's Nick? No. No, stop. Your villains are fighting, just let them fight.
And considered it a normal procedure when others use your content.
That Ben had copyright struck the previous video he'd made.
But also, either way, you shouldn't claim the content. Like, it's not your legal ability to claim it, because if it's transformative, then you can't claim it.
On him.
Not just copyright claim, but copyright strike.
This did happen. This was in 2021. I just point blank thought when someone used your videos, you put in a copyright claim. I didn't know there was a difference at the time between strike or claim or whatever.
The way Ben presented.
Yeah, you can't plead ignorance on here, brother. We know this shit. And also, your name's fucking Bentellect. The tellect part of it comes from intellect. So you're gonna plead a dumbass when your literal name is Bentellect? I thought you were a smart cookie. I don't fucking get it, buddy. Here, step aside, Ben. Let's talk over here. Yo, Ben. Man to man, bro. Person to person. Ain't no one buying this. And also, if we replay this...
But copyright strike.
This did happen. This was in 2021. I just point blank thought when someone used your videos, you put in a copyright claim.
So you thought that when people use your videos, you put in the copyright claim. So his idea of how content works is that if you use other people's content, then you can copyright claim them, right? First of all, not how it works. Second of all, you're dumb for thinking that. Third of all, remove the tellect from your name. Drop the tellect. It's just Ben from now on. I've decided that. And third of all, or is it fourth of all? You read tweets. Those tweets are not your content. And so by that logic, any person whose tweet you've read, because apparently that's something that you believe should happen, that if you at all use other people's content, you can copyright claim them, brother. You got some claims. You got some claims coming at you. That's your whole shtick.
There was a difference at the time between strike or claim or whatever.
The way Ben presented things made it seem like a careless mistake, but that becomes very hard to believe when you look deeper into the situation. Anyone using the YouTube copyright system would be more than aware of the serious consequences associated with filing a copyright strike, especially a creator with over 1 million subscribers. How could he have gone through the entire filing process and not even understood what he was filing? Either Ben, 1, ignored the critical information from YouTube about the copyright system while filing the strike and didn't bother to do any research on it, or 2, was aware of the consequences and filed it anyway. Whichever one it was, Ben was clearly at fault for misusing the copyright system. If you apply Ben's logic to his own content, then almost all of his videos would be liable for a copyright takedown because he uses other people's content in their entirety.
That's correct.
I'm always looking for ways to make traveling easier.
Me too. And I bought your product to help me with that.
So this girl DM'd me a year prior on Instagram, basically wanted to go grab a drink.
Chat, why would you spend United States dollars to purchase a sign that says elite? You know what I'm saying? This is one of those purchases that Chase got to mark as fraud no matter how often you say, no, that was me. And they're like, no, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. We can't let you do this. Do not buy this shit, bro.
Never ended up.
It's tough to look at.
Happening. A year later, I was starting a podcast, got drunk. the day before she was gonna come over, and I texted her this. So, yep, this is a drunk text at noon. I was blackout drunk. It was just dumb. It was just stupid.
Looking back at Jordan's tweet, all she really did was state exactly what had been done and provided proof of said actions. When he recounted these events, Ben lied about the timeline by stating that the text took place a day prior, when it was mere hours.
I'm gonna be honest too. I feel like if he was just trying to slide it in, like there's a decent chance that after the podcast, you do some sort of lunch with this girl, and then, you know, after you wine and dine, you know, you gotta ferment that, you know, let that Bentellect go to town, open up them doors, and it's all yours, as they say. And yeah, I mean, look, bro, like you just gotta not do this, you know, you just gotta not, you know, say that like hey, after you come over, can we fuck? Like, you know, you gotta be a little bit more. I mean, look, bro, you gotta just like not do that shit.
Timeline by stating that the text took place a day prior, when it was mere hours before their meetup. Not only that, but he also left out how the reason he cancelled their collaboration was because she refused to sleep with him. Ben is clearly twisting the facts to make himself look better, and when the evidence was too damning to deny,
I'd prefer it straight up like that though. Well, that doesn't make sense because technically speaking, it's sexual harassment, right? Like if you're turning something that's non-sexual into a sexual encounter that's completely unprovoked and can be made to make everyone uncomfortable, then it's like you shouldn't do that.
resorted to call it a lie without any proof.
I'm with me.
This whole con.
Like there's something about authenticity, but there's also something about, you know, not being a fucking creepy weirdo about it. You know, like if you meet someone or if you're planning something and it's, you can read the room and understand that there's something that you can say that would be appropriate. And I'm explaining this like you guys are all mentally challenged, but you shouldn't tell someone that you want to basically fuck them, even if you're using like a cute euphemism, like, oh, we can collab. I can collab my dick with your vagina. It would be an epic crossover. You want a crossover? Dick X pussy crossover? Like that's so classless. Like you have to basically not do that. And you can still find a way to, like, is he 10? Is he like 15 years old that he's like, I have a boner. Like, bro, just like don't do that and you have a decent chance.
Though I don't care what anyone says about it. This right here, I don't know who put it out. Fake. Oh my God, I've dealt with Bentellect too. Actually, he's bothered a lot of women. Where's the name? This is just a text message, and people take it as like a story. It's not a story. Let me just say this. The story is that I started a podcast to leverage my fame to sleep with women. False. And any other person who tells you otherwise is lying. For fame, for views.
Okay, well, basically the point of the podcast invitation was so that after the podcast, you could basically invite yourself into her body, right? So you invite her on the podcast, and in exchange, she invites you into her hole. That was kind of the goal from the start. And it's a plan for sure. I don't know if it's a good plan. It clearly didn't work, and you ended up with a sign that says Elite behind you, explaining why you did what you did, which makes you sort of a failure. But at the end of the day, right? The idea, I don't know about the whole power dynamic thing. Like if you're both adults, like, you know, it is what it is. But the reality is like your plan kind of sucked. And then, you know, you just didn't know how to pursue the plan properly and you fumbled. Like, you know how in chess.com they say that there was the blunders and stuff? Like I can see quite a few.
Or whatever reason.
And apparently he's tried this before, right? So either it hasn't worked before and he was too stupid to revise the plan, right? Or it has worked before and just didn't work this time, right?
I got drunk at noon and texted a girl who had DM'd me a year before and asked her if she wanted to hook up. That's not that crazy.
Despite asserting that these messages were fake, Ben did acknowledge his connection to one of the women listed, but stated it wasn't the public's business since it was a private conversation.
This girl and her and I met on a dating app in 2017, hung out once, and then I think hung out 5 times over the course of like 3 years. Never dated. Only hung out when we drank. This text message combo was a private text message between me and her. I was drunk and texting her, yep. There's nothing in this text message that is any of the public's business. If you read someone's private text messages as content, you're a clown, straight up.
Private messages or not, Ben had a pattern of getting aggressive towards and insulting women who didn't give him what he wanted. The excuses of being intoxicated doesn't change the reality of what he did, and viewers were more than ready to echo that sentiment in the comment section below. Reading, "You realize being drunk in that moment makes it so much worse," and "Funny how you was drunk every time you texted them." Throughout the video, Ben couldn't admit to his mistakes and
alcohol is awesome. Let's start with that. Alcohol can be bad as well. So a good thing, a great thing, can also be bad depending on whose hands it is. So let's understand that in the wrong hands, something amazing can be made bad, and this guy was the wrong hands, right? So...
and tried to make it seem like the coverage of his behind-the-scenes behavior was just people hating on him. As long as he could paint the people calling him out in a bad light, Ben felt like he was in the right, and was even comfortable enough with that reasoning to take things a step further by calling his critics clowns.
This is fake. This is fake. This is fake. This is fake. And this is fake. So if you've seen this video, it's BS and he's a clown. If you've seen this video, it's BS and he's a clown. And if you've seen this video, it's BS and he's a clown. Hope this...
I don't understand then. So this apology that you produced, the roasting about the apology, what's fake about it?
helps.
As you'd imagine, viewers were very quick to point out Ben's extremely weak rebuttal to the criticism,
When does the group gooning session start?
with a comment stating, "Your argument is just saying they're wrong? You're so bad at this, you don't even have..."
Well, they're clowns. They didn't. No, hold on. Wick Candlestick, by the way. I mean, I appreciate your comment. No, he said that they're clowns, not that they're wrong. He didn't even say they're wrong. He's just like, actually, no, he did say that. He said that they're clowns. I think the clown part is far more damning.
Evidence that they are actually wrong. Someone didn't go to Lapse in Judgment 101, I see. This wouldn't be the last time Ben tried to slander his critics to save his skin, as he doubled down on this sick strategy going into 2025. However, it would cause him more harm than good. By the 16th of March 2025, Ben uploaded a video to TikTok captioned, "This guy is a creep," in which he framed Charlie's coverage of him as baseless slander.
Today I want to talk about someone. His name is Charles White. He made a video slandering me over a year ago, but the damage it caused still affects me, my career, and my mental health to this day, which is why I'm making this video. He made up a story reading fake screenshots from Twitter that I started a fake podcast to get girls, fans girls specifically, to come
Why is he in the middle of the woods?
and hook up.
Bentellect uses this podcast as a way of just... like, the whole podcast existence is only here as a way of trying to get Bentellect laid.
I later put out a video explaining that Jordan Max had put out fake screenshots and debunked the theory because that came from me actually starting a podcast with Maria Smith, a friend of mine. I literally put out an apology video because I was sick and tired of the endless harassment. I wouldn't be respecting myself if I didn't speak my truth.
Following this, Ben complains about
That's
the damage
strong.
it did to
It's
him
moving.
on YouTube and even threatens legal action against
I
Charlie.
believe that's a
There's
backyard.
a respecting myself if I
Oh, yeah.
followed me
Good catch.
because of Penguin's video. Let me give you an example. This video did millions of plays on Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram, but the same video only did 13,000 plays on YouTube, even though I have 3 million subscribers. A lot of fans have recommended that I sue Charlie. Other commentary
Charlie, diddle him, please.
channels even make videos detailing the damage. I would argue that Charlie reading strangers'
Yeah, this shit was done, bro. Like,
private
come
text
on.
messages makes him and his followers more of a creep than me texting a girl. But there's an idiot born every second, and a lot of them are following Moist Critical.
At this point, anyone who knew the truth about the situation called him out in the comments, but Ben was desperate to keep his facade intact.
Like, I'll keep it 100% honest. It is not the worst thing, not even close to the worst thing that we've covered on the channel. I do think that if the apology was not as fucking poorly worded, like including women, like if he just talked about like working on respect and stuff, then it would be a lot easier, right? I think he could have responded to this a billion times better and people maybe wouldn't be as mad, but he just was terrible. Oh my God.
With a commenter stating, "You can try your hardest to deny the truth, but you know what you did. Charlie exposed you and you continue to hide behind this lie you've crafted. Own up to it." Where Bentellect responded by stating, "That's cute, show me the names and faces to match their screenshots." You can't. Case closed. This wasn't the first time Ben had retroactively slandered people who criticized him, as he tried to label Billie Eilish as a bully for making a parody of his content.
Over the years, Billie
Wait,
Eilish
what?
talks about cyberbullying and how it has negatively affected her life, to the point that she says that in 2018, she almost took her own life because of reading negative social media posts about her online. Well, 2 years later, Billie Eilish posted this video to her 50 million subscribers. I use Instagram. Scrolled. F is this. Unfollow. Scroll. Facts. Screenshot. Yes.
Facts.
Okay. I mean, bro, like, I don't know if that's, is the girl from Fortnite? Yeah. Was that bullying?
From Ben's perspective, Billy intentionally tried to make her fans hate him and felt that she had no justification to talk about people hating her.
Years she gave a speech about cyberbullying and how
Dude, get a fucking, like, no, stop.
Was just demonstrating what it looks like to scroll and laugh. I don't think she was hating, as well as, I'm not really a Billy fan, but I don't think she was trying to be mean to you. Going back to his YouTube channel, Ben has made several community posts wrapping the narrative around his bad reputation and history to make it seem like people were hating him for no reason. And people were initially on Ben's side because they didn't know the allegations against him. But the table shifted when more users—
What the fuck is this? All beef with me is one-sided?
began
Bro, didn't you say that you were gonna sue Moist Critical? Or like that he's slandering? Bro, I don't know. It doesn't seem one-sided if you're responding to
noticing
it.
his posts, with one commenter even stating, "You don't have the time, huh? Then why you post this then? Put the fries in the bag, buddy." Even now, the misconduct Ben was trying to obscure was still costing him subscribers.
The godforsaken
as one
fries.
user stated, "Just saw the allegations about the OF podcast, just unsubscribed. Didn't want to watch someone who is doing supposed shady stuff. I'm not saying you did this, I just don't want to follow someone who can't be honest or trusted." Seeing the writing on the
Jobs, bro, jobs.
wall, Ben understood that the YouTube community isn't going to give him a second chance, and uploaded this salty community post. "Stay in school, kids, you'll never be a YouTuber." Looking at Ben's recent YouTube metrics, the pattern only becomes more—
Ben,
"You'll never be a YouTuber."
stay in school, kids. You'll never be a YouTuber. Oh my god. Bentellect, I don't think anyone wants to be like you. Like, the idea that, like, people would drop out to be like you is actually pathetic. Like, no. I think he's got it twisted. That's his problem, bro. Can we get Packard in here to molest him? Can Packard get in here and molest this guy real quick? No. Let me tell you this, by the way. When people want to be a YouTuber, they don't want to be a YouTuber to put on a bucket hat and fake laugh at tweets. They want to be a YouTuber to actually laugh, and have, let's just say, fun moments on camera where they're either playing video games or doing anything else. Like, basically anything but you.
Looking at Ben's recent YouTube metrics, the pattern only becomes more apparent, as his slander campaign against Charlie and his other critics has cost him over 10,000 subscribers. The more Ben tries to cover up his past, the more people find out about it. What's even more concerning is how this effect would be multiplied if he continues to go after the people that exposed him.
That's elite.
Whether Ben realized it or not, trying to—
That's so elite. That's so fucking elite, bro. There's something so elite about the way that he moves and the way that he talks and responds. There's just this level of eliteness that needs to be gate kept from people like me, because I'm just like an average person, okay? I'm an average white male who goes throughout life walking, and, you know, white people be like, are you finished with that coleslaw? And that's just like what I am. And then, you know, and when I look in the mirror, it's affirmed because I look the part, I play the part. And that's kind of all I'll ever be, you know. Maybe I'll go to Adidas on a special occasion to get a new pair of shoes, and I'll go on a run. And at some point in my life, I might buy a bicycle and then use the bicycle to transport myself from point A to point B. And that's just what I'll do. And that's what I am. I'm an average person. He's Bentellect, he's tough, he's elite. I need to stay in school. I'll never be like him.
Exposed Charlie wasn't going to make people forgive or forget how he abused his platform. Even if Ben were to sue Charlie or get a response from him, the outcome wouldn't be in his favor. As one commenter put it, "My guy, it's over. Just take the L. If by some chance he even sees this video, he knows how desperately you would love a back and forth. He knows that you would even accept playing the deserved role as the villain as long as you got views again. You honestly think he has even thought about you for over a minute in the past 6 months? He's not gonna engage. If you got slandered, sue him. If you were a creep, don't. Either way, your relevance is done." Throughout his career, he has demonstrated a pattern of being petty.
You're done. You're done.
In the past 6 months,
You're
he's
done.
not gonna engage. If you got slandered, sue him. If you were a creep, don't. Either way, your relevance is done.
You're done, bro. I mean, you're just done. You wish your commentary was as great as Rivigas's? I mean, yeah.
Throughout his career,
I'm never gonna be him, but yeah, great video.